Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our deciding Game 3 of the day. Lumi having a bit of a laugh there. The Chinese advertisements in the background. That's right, it is Chinese Dota. Well, at least it's your Dota 2 Super League Dota. We do have the Malaysian contenders, RNG Sports, facing up against LGD International. LGD.int, they didn't cruise to a Game 1 victory, but they had a solid performance there. They took it late game. Orange just couldn't compete in Game 2. Totally different story. Orange face-rolled LGD.int, but not really with a rush lineup, just got so far ahead. They snowballed out of control. Lumi, now it's time for Game 3.
Yeah, hopefully that we're not going to see as risky of a lineup, but if they want to go for some risky lineup, I want to see something like Bloodseeker, Spirit Breaker, some of these new buffed heroes.
Give it to me, baby. Come on.
So,
well, we'll see.
Gyrocopter is going to be first picked up 3 games in a row, and we were having a laugh where Gyrocopter is OP, Radiant OP, but I feel like the way that most teams play Gyrocopter now is really for early game, like Drums, BKB, and it's actually very hard for other teams or other heroes to actually compete, right? He has a ton of physical damage, a ton of magical damage, and the same package. He's hard to kill with the BKB. How do you deal with this?
And now he's harder to kill because he's got a Chen backing him up.
Yep, so it's, well, on the other side, there's Visage and Sand King, so the nuke is just definitely there.
You know, the thing is he does have to farm the BKB, and even once you farm it, you still have to get your next item. So RNG Sports, there's definitely that window in the laning stage. They have a very strong, aggressive trialing already with Visage, Sand King +1. We saw them go to the Windrunner last game. That proved to be quite effective. The OD as a situational mid. Orange not afraid to experiment. I would call OD a pretty unusual pick. We've seen him occasionally from Liquid, occasionally from Orange, but that's very occasionally at that. So maybe they'll have something else up their sleeve.
Yeah, apparently the other day in Western Dota, I heard there was an OD Treant combo.
Oh, that sounds obnoxious.
How do you gank that, right? You can't gank that, and he outlanes anybody, so.
That's pretty strong. Yeah. You do have to pick Tree, though. That's the one downside.
Tree is OP, man. I don't know. I feel Tree is quite OP.
In terms of one spell being the most effective in the laning stage, yeah. But then you have the whole package, and I think he's pretty balanced in the end. But we'll see, Lumi. We will see for the time being now. We do enter that second stage of our bans, and I mean, it's an interesting point you made. There are 8 bans before the third pick, and it makes it easier to counter teams over the course of the entire draft.
Yeah, for example, if you see like Visage and you say, hey, I'm going to take away every kind of offensive, powerful trialing hero out there, Crystal Maiden, Twin Head Dragon, Alchemist. If you could do that, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we'd see the CM because they already have Sand King. But your point being, of course, any heroes that combo well that you want to remove, they're available to be banned out. LGD.int, they've been leaning more towards banning Mushi's heroes. We saw the Queen of Pain Puck ban last game. But Mushi's shown a bit of a deeper hero pool. He went to the OD last game. He's played a sensational Templar Assassin in the past, so that we haven't seen much lately, but it is always an option. Not too great against Rocket Barrage. That's the one concern there, but we'll see what they go for. Point being, Mushi's got a pretty deep hero pool. Even the Magnus, something that he's run with a lot of success in the past.
Yeah, so I don't think banning, I mean, taking away Queen of Pain is fine. Taking away Puck is fine, but I don't think Mushi's hurt for heroes compared to most other like solo mid players out there. And we'll see where the rating goes for, because LG loves to pick these heroes, support heroes like Sand King and Visage, and that's the 2 heroes they have a lot of successes with, and now not anymore because it's on the other side.
Maybe the Visage is the secret weapon. Extinct 7-0 now on the hero, apparently. 6-0 going into last game, takes that win. 7-0 is getting to the point where you could say, okay, that's not a small sample size anymore. They're winning a lot of games with Visage, and even Ohio's Windrunner, I think it was 6-2, now 7-2. We'll see if they go for the Windrunner here. Chen creeps can often prove to be your own worst enemy when you're up against that hero, with Shackle Shot, of course, is an option. But where do you think Orange will go? The hero pool's wide open. They've got their 2 supports, but what are they looking for?
I think they're looking to have stronger lanes. Both of these games so far has really come down to lane. The team that has got the big advantage, really could snowball easily. The big exception being game number 1, which Orange went up to like 6k lead, I want to say 5k lead at one point, and they kind of...
And then they sort of petered out.
Right, but I don't think that's the hero's fault. I think they probably did not play it perfectly that game.
You know, the one interesting thing in game 1, we saw CK Wisp just come off the board instantly.
Right.
And Wisp has just been ignored. Neither team going for her.
I mean, you could do the CK Wisp now. The big problem, the way that how draft works in the new one, is you can't CK Wisp instantly in the second phase.
Yeah, you have to do it first phase, or you do it one by one.
Right, if you do Wisp now, I think the CK might be taken, or being forced to being taken, but still, it's not bad.
And in that light, somewhat, it kind of, maybe it nerfs strategies that rely on combos and makes ones that just, heroes that are just independently good a little bit stronger, but that's a discussion for another day. We'll let the theory crafters and forum dwellers and Reddit dive into that a bit more. But where do we go from here? Alchemist the ban for RNG Sports. Now we get to see some more picks. It's been a very deliberate draft, and again, guys, the stakes, even though this is a group stage game, start to get pretty high, especially for LGD.int, because they lose this game, they still have to play DK, and they'll be 1-2, and that sets them up with DK looking very strong lately. Potentially, they drop to 1-3 in the group. That's going to be tough to come back from, tough to advance out of the group. Even if you do, it's as the last seed, most likely as the 3rd seed at best. So LGD.int, I feel it's much more of a must-win game for them, whereas Orange, they start off 1-0, that's great, but they still have quite a few games to catch up.
So I'm looking at Orange's bans as well as their picks. They take out Darkseer, Alchemist, and Lifestealer. These are fairly tanky heroes that are hard to kill, and they have heroes that are relying on burst damage like Visage, Sanking, and to a certain extent Nature's Prophet. So I feel like they're going for more of a nuke to your die kind of lineup and just go for massive kills, massive tower push.
Kind of Virtus Pro style. Safe lane Prophet, aggressive tri-lane, teleport in around level 4 and 5, dive the tower, get a kill or 2, and push.
Right, and here's a big issue. It's hard to push against Gyrocopter if he has any farm. Chen is going to be a big factor.
Thorn in their side.
Right. Yeah, the Hand of God does have a fairly long cooldown, so if they force one out, they could re-engage a little bit later on. Dragon Knight's going to be a bigger issue. Like this guy, if you have a magic stick and strength threats, it's just hard to bring him down. So I feel like Orange Esports, if they want to maintain this kind of draft and still trying to burst people down, they have to pick even more. Puck is not a bad way to start because they give you so much more mobility, and more importantly, the cooldown of those spells are quite short. So
the ability for LGD.int, if they get to the mid game to just group up and push, is pretty overwhelming right now. RNG Sports have Nature's Wrath, but that's a very long cooldown spell. It's not really the best counter push spell in the game by any means. Burrow Strike you can't rely on because it puts Sankin in harm's way. Visage has no counter push at all to speak of. So Orange, like you said, because not only because they're just going for early game heroes or mid game heroes, but also because they don't have counter push, they really have to win the laning stage now, and either that or they back off and they go for a different style.
Yeah, they are forced to be on the offensive, and this pick really speaks to that. Again, a hero that doesn't have too much AoE to defend against a push, but on the same note, really, really good at pushing.
Yeah, offensive powerhouse in some ways the Luna is. Maybe not at level 1, but by the time she hits level 7, LGD, maybe they get LGD in, maybe they kind of eat their own strategy here, where we see the 6-7 minute Luna hits level 7, and then the team starts 5-manning. What they did when they came out in the G League Season 2, but we'll see where they go. As for LGD, I mean, I'm looking at their draft right now, Lumi, and they do need a lot of levels in farm, at least like level 6, 7. That first 5 to 6 minutes, that's where RNG Sports could really look to punish them.
Yeah, I feel like their draft so far is not bad still, though. They have a ton of AoE to at least weaken that push. Breath of Fire, Fable, and of course Shen creeps providing distraction up to the front line. It's actually something that's somewhat difficult to break. It's also pretty hard to pick off each hero individually because they're just tanky in nature. Chen might have a little bit of trouble, as well as Rubik to stay alive, but the position should allow them to do it. So both teams working with quite a unique draft. I'm not too sure how they match up against each other. I guess it just, again, as usual, comes down to the draft, comes down to the laning stage. If, for example, like if Dragon Knight gives up an early first blood, then the game could turn around quite easily.
Now, the one interesting question is, how is Orange going to plan to lane this? Often you'll see teams run the aggressive tri-lane and then the safe lane Luna. The problem is, well, they also have a Prophet. Prophet's not really a dominant mid. If you send Prophet mid, DK will get free farm, basically, or at least a lot of farm.
I feel you could send...
And Luna could easily be punished by an aggressive jungle Chen as well.
I feel you could actually go mid Luna now in this game, because Dragon Knight's such a weak laner in its own right. I mean, she could Flame Breath spam, but with Bottle Crow being weaker,
right,
and with Luna having a ton more base damage to kind of even out-damage and out-harass that Dragon Blood, I think that's a safe lane to send Luna.
Now we look at LGD.int's final ban. They ban out Magnus. This tells me LGD.int does not expect an aggressive tri-lane. They think it's going to be a safe lane tri-lane Luna, a jungle Prophet, and then some other solo mid. So they ban the Mushi Mag. Orange, they could go aggressive tri-lane if they want to. I think it is still an option. Luna mid, Prophet safe lane. We'll see what they do, but they do have a bit of an option here with this final pick. So LGD, they're assuming it won't be the aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go offensive tri-lane, you could pick up an Earthshaker or like a Jakiro right now. And how scary is that tri-lane with the Soul Assumption Elite, follow with the Ice Path, Burrow Strike, and then Soul Catcher? That's a free kill on anybody on this.
I really like the idea of the Jakiro a bit better, because you get Earthshaker, it's double mid. They'll go Windrunner.
And that could be their offensive tri-lane, right?
Orange going, it looks like an aggressive tri-lane here. Yeah. It's going to be, I imagine, safe lane Prophet, solo mid Luna.
Yeah.
It could be a Luna safe lane, but she's very vulnerable to those early Chen ganks.
Yeah, I like her a little bit more as a solo mid. Simply because even if the Chen is backstabbing, you could run south. or down the river on the other direction.
If you get caught behind your tower, you can just get cornered.
Right. I think the top lane might be even easier to gank.
Exactly.
If there's, I don't know who their off lane is, but
we'll see. The options are open. But Lumi, here's my last question for you: where does LGD.int go with this last pick? They've got the Dragon Knight. Obviously, he'll go solo mid. Gyro probably safe lane farmer. So it looks like they need an off lane or a jungler here.
Oh, they're going to go with Beastmaster, which, if you get a quick level 6, a very easy way to disrupt push, as well as kind of give you a good way to actually focus down on Luna, kind of the big prime target. They have 2 long-range stun in the form of a Dragon Tail coming out from the range Dragon Knight, as well as Misery's now Beastmaster Roar, and that really sets you up for a great call-down. Like, you have a ton of burst damage, you have a ton of AoE. I don't think this is a bad pick at all.
I do want to point out 1437 is playing Rubik against Sand King, and if you could steal Burrow Strike, that is, in my opinion, the best non-ultimate in the game to steal. A spammable AoE stun that also functions as an escape mechanism, and it's pretty much instant on top of already having lift. So 1437 could be a playmaker in this game, but his team will be strapped a bit for levels. You look at their team, everybody wants to get level 6 on LGD, and Orange, a bit stronger in those early levels. So we'll introduce the teams now. Orange Esports, your Malaysian sensations. They've come all the way from Southeast Asia. They want to take this game off of LGD, and they are currently tied up 1-1. Net on the Sand King. He'll be heading towards the top lane. KYXY playing the Luna, so it looks like it will be a safe lane Luna. Extinct on the Visage. Solo mid Windrunner. Mushi going to be handling that. I have not seen him play this hero in ages, but going for his classic build, which is mass stats, double salve, and last but not least, it will be Ohio taking the Nature's Prophet to the offlane. So we thought they could go aggressive tri-lane Lumi, but they're going to back off, and I think LGD will be quite happy with this.
Yeah, another game where there's quite, I guess, non-standard laning. I thought the lanes that I've suggested of solo mid Luna, safe lane Prophet, offensive tri-lane, especially with Visage, was a lot stronger, but they're definitely respecting the power of a Chen in a jungle. It's somewhat dangerous at certain times because you don't know what that Chen's going to be coming out, and a single Centaur Stomp or a Furbrooke Stomp could lead to a double kill, and there goes your tri-lane. So they're going to take the safer approach, and what they're up against... Oh.
This is so clever by Orange. They think LGDN's going to defend their own jungle and now rotate Misery through. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be surrounded. A couple rounds of auto attacks. Now a Burrow Strike comes through. The trap has been sprung. An easy first blood. That was really clever by Orange. They saw that LGDN not putting anyone in the top lane immediately. So like, okay, they're defending their jungle. We're going to intercept Beastmaster, either coming to put a ward near his Ancients or support there, or rotating top lane. They find an easy pick. Great play from Orange.
That was great play. A lot of teams would have just stunned immediately and gone for the kill.
Right.
They got off, each hero got off a single auto attack first, and that was just enough for them to get off the soul assumption. And look at this ward dropping. No ancient stacking here for LG Misery, which is something that offlane Beastmaster do quite a bit. I don't think we actually introduced LG yet, so let's quickly do so. Misery's going to be playing offlane Beastmaster. We're going to have mid lane being handled by G as always on that Dragon Knight. Blue on the top lane, that's going to be 1437 on the Rubik. On the bot lane, it's going to be Gyrocopter handled by Pyken. Last but not least, we're going to see Brax playing
defensive jungle Chen, and like you said, Pycat on that safe lane Gyro. Didn't show him yet on the camera. Now I have this neutral camp is going to be very hard to deward for LGDN, so they won't be able to get the ancient stacks off for Misery. He won't feel safe going into the lane. That's going to be something not really going their way, whereas Prophet, doing well already, Ohio, well, able to be a little bit of a nuisance, and with the Trianson, also looks like he may try and block some spawns, block some stacks. If he needs to, he can go jungle. Beastmaster going to be more limited in his options. You can jungle, but it's not very efficient. And I guess the other thing is, I feel like Mushi could dominate this middle lane against G, especially with the Bottle Crow nerf. It makes a strong laner like Windrunner a whole lot scarier.
Well, Misery's going to find himself a ton of go here. A nice neutral level 1 camp stacked up by Rubik, and now they clear it out with a clap and access. But look at Prophet being so annoying. He's just sending treants, scouting things out, blocking camps. As a result, he's not getting any levels himself. But, I mean, what do you expect on an off-lane Nature's Prophet? I think it's time to ditch the lane and start going back in the jungle.
Wow.
Top lane, though. Smoke gang coming in.
A very early smoke gang. They think he's up to something at the Ancients. They are right. This Observer Ward, I don't actually think it sees anything. It doesn't, but they're just suspicious. The Rotator on top may be expecting...
Does it not block? It didn't block.
I guess it was placed too far.
Yeah.
I thought it would, but maybe not.
Well,
they'll wrap around now, Lumi. They're going to look for him, and they have the high ground advantage. If he comes back in right now, this could be pretty bad. He's actually going to find a double damager, and now if they go for him, it might be a little bit of a different story. They'll burrow through, Grave chill him up, power shot, never mind that. Easy kill regardless.
Power shot coming
But it is a triple stack of Ancients. The thing is, can Orange just look to steal this at some point? It's going to be hard to actually farm it.
Yeah, normally I won't make too much gripes about misplacing wards. You got to keep in mind that in 6.78, there is one less pair of wards.
Yeah.
And doing a fail ward like this, they don't have river ward right now for Mushi. Like, because there's a lane ward up top, there's a fail ward here. Like, Mushi is playing blind in the river, and it's good when you have roaming support to take control of the river, and they just did, and it looks like they're going to set up yet another gank here with Sankey.
Relentless aggression from
Ninja. They're looking to push pressure top, and as soon as Beastmaster tries to defend, he's going to be dead. Any teleport
Oh, actually Tango through. Oh, Net, you cheeky little bugger. Now they're going to find Misery trapped behind the tower. Is there teleport on anyone like you mentioned? Not seeing any. Looks like, oh, sorry, click on the wrong team there. But yeah, no TPs coming in. Misery, he's in trouble. She'll be going down. Soul Assumption finds the kill. 3 for 0 already. LGD.int just really playing in the dark for this Beastmaster. Orange, now they lead by 750 gold. No experience advantage to speak of, though. In fact, LGD.int has that, so, well, the Jungle Chen somewhat making up for all these early deaths.
Yeah, but Jungle Chen is not going to have the similar impact until he hits level 6, and still, it's just going to be a defensive impact. Mushi still doing quite okay on the mid lane here. I'm surprised that he's not winning the lane harder. He's got 6 deny ahead, and then in a solo mid 1v1 matchup, that's what you want. Denies, well, last hits are important too, but denies are quite important. So you can see at 1437 trying to catch up by doing a ton of stacking, a ton of pulling, and unfortunately, Nature's Prophet is kind of the big non-factor for the team. And Nature's Prophet not getting a quick Midas, not getting quick level 6 is absolutely useless.
He's going to be stacking Ancients for his team, and the thing is they don't really have the best lineup to stack them. We'll see actually a Sentry Ward used. This one definitely will block the camp, so shouldn't be any more stacks coming out. Now 4 minutes in, and we'll just double check that. Yep, no neutral's going to spawn, so they'll stop the stacking now, but it's a big enough stack that if LGD.int can farm it, they will really pull ahead. And you look at Orange, not a good lineup to stack to kill off Ancients at the early to mid game. Later on you can, but Luna, not until she hits like level 11 or 12. Before then, just won't be able to tank them or do much. Gyro, Beastmaster, these heroes can clean up Ancients like none other.
Yeah, to that note though, XY is gonna, or KYXY is gonna hit level 11 or 12 quite quickly. She's already almost 6, and that push, I imagine, if they want to do it, it's coming soon. But on the same token, you talked about a big Ancient stack. There's a big neutral stack on this camp over here, and in the jungle, this feels very Alliance-esque. I'm not sure if LGD is studying their playbook, but they're stacking very much so. And when you have Flat Cannon, when you have Axis, Flame Breath, you could take away those stacks quite easily. I'm
just interested that Ohio still feels no need to get any levels. Calldown's going to be dropped, but he will he'll get out of it after the first one hits. That was a scary, scary dive. They'll smoke mid again simultaneously, and there's 3 heroes bottom. The smoke breaks. Mushi fishing for a shackle. He'll land it too. Burrow's going to come through in a second. They chain it up nicely. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Soul Assumption's there. 1437 may even go down here. Mushi's wind running in, slowing him down. One more auto attack. Cleans up the kill. Extinct still alive. Misery can't do a thing. All of the orange heroes are going to live. Net bursting through. No, he can't. I think I actually had Sandstorm there, but might have still been in tower range. Will go down in the end.
I think he... it does cost 60 mana. So
he didn't have both. He had either Sandstorm or Burrow Strike out, and in the end, just couldn't live.
Yeah, unfortunately, could not have disjointed it. But meanwhile, on the bot lane here, tower's gonna get defended as well as multiple TP comes in.
Ooh, even a Luna TP.
Yeah, the second one's gonna cancel. He's like, wait, I could just push top myself. So he's gonna do that.
Or I can farm. Yeah, and KYXY says, well, I'll farm instead. Bottom lane, though, the pressure will continue. They've got a level 6 Dragonite. They're really trying to take advantage of the power of their lineup, which is early pressure. And this is where a level 2 Prophet, a level 3 Sandcane, as good as they were at slowing down the DK mid, what can they actually do to stop the push? It really comes down to Mushi's rotations, because you have a Prophet who's level 2. He can't stop pushes, and neither can these supports. So it's all up to Mushi to slow down the group up that's coming from LGD.int.
Yeah, Prophet's not going to stop anything anytime soon, because he's just a big range creep at this point in the game. They're going to TP around. Looks like they're going to try to go for a kill. Sentry Ward gets immediately dropped down. Maybe a little bit worried about some smoke initiations, not? Or trying to D-ward. Maybe they're expecting a ward here. So
we'll take another look at the gold, the experience graphs. It's been a pretty slow game at this point. Even though there's been all these smoke ganks, feels like a pretty deliberate pace from both teams. Score 5-1, Orange leading there. Gold graph only slightly favoring them. Experience graph, 600 experience lead, but it's really heavily invested in a couple of heroes. The Luna, the Windrunner, and to a certain extent the Visas. The other 3, you take a look at their levels. Well, heroes that need levels, not really getting them. Ohio is starting to catch up, but he's got a long way to go. We actually saw Mushi's win rate on Luna earlier, which is great, except he doesn't play carry anymore, but thanks, George, for fixing that. And even KYXY having a lot of success. In general, it's just a hero that Orange do like to run.
This Ancient stack is getting bigger and scarier as the time goes by.
I feel like this game could be decided by whoever wins the fight at the Ancient stack.
Yeah, or whoever wins the fight before that and takes the Ancient stack, which is Luna's already gearing up. BKB time. You talked about a push that is going to be led by Luna. Is it going to be coming anytime soon, or do you think she's going to be farming till the BKB and then you go for the push?
Well, I thought they'd be more pushing oriented, but that was with the assumption that Prophet was going to get levels and farm. When he's under leveled, Orange just don't have that great of a push.
Yeah.
Luna, even with a BKB, it helps you team fight, but it doesn't really accelerate your push at all. KYXY, they'll start to chip away on this tower, and the rotation will come from LGD. They're smoked up. Actually didn't see where they smoked. I think it was out of vision.
Yeah, it was safe within their young jungle. They didn't smoke up under that.
So they're not spotted out, but Net, well, he'll spot the boar here. The rotation will come top, and KYXY wisely will be backing off.
They need Misery to turn 6 if that smoke gang's going to work out.
Well, all the while, Lumi, let me ask you, how do you feel about the trades? Because I'm looking at Misery. He's level 5, and you compare that to Prophet, level 3. Even Chen getting levels in farm. Everybody's getting something on LGD, and some of Orange's heroes just feel like they have just a long way to go before they can contribute. I'm particularly looking at Ohio.
Yeah, the good thing is that he doesn't have any death. Earlier, we saw the call down being dropped. The first tick actually hit. The slow was applied.
Yeah.
I was surprised he didn't make that dive for the kill because at that time, Gyrocopter already had Phase Boot and Rocket Barrage ready to go.
He was worried about a TP from the Windrunner, the Sand King.
That's a fair worry. But I feel that if you play a little bit more aggressive and shut him down more, Ohio's going to be a non-factor for a good part of the game. But right now, he's going to get a free level 6. He's getting free farm. The support's giving him a little bit of room. And it looks like they're going to try to make this dive. I'm not too sure whether to get this kill, though. They don't have enough nuke damage, I think.
Oh, they do. Shackle's there. It's not going to latch. The familiar stuns, though, say Sayonara Pycat. He's low. He does get off the cooldown. He's actually still alive. He's sticking up. How is this guy not dying yet? Finally, he goes down. Man, that was like a cockroach. You know, you stomp on it a few times. You're like, oh, wait, I can't kill it that way. And then they flushed him down the toilet. But Pycat almost turning that one around.
I think they wanted Mushi to get the last hit, and they're like, okay, you get the last hit. But suddenly,
just kill him. Somebody kill him.
Yeah, that's where you say, oh, guys, he's kind of killing everybody.
That's where I wish I spoke Chinese and was in the team chat for Orange. Which, by the way, if you do speak Chinese, or actually I think even English in the case of LGD, there is a way, I believe, through the Chinese streams to listen to the team audio. So something to keep in mind.
Looks like we're going to see a Grave Chill coming up here. Burrow Strike to follow through, and the birds stunning, dropping. They're going to try to focus down G. Where's the Soul Assumption? Not being fired
Shackle
just yet.
on 2.
What a Shackle. They're going to get 1 kill. And Pycat, he's going to try to burst down all these birds with Flat Cannon. He's looking for his kill, and then Extinct's going to drop yet another Soul Assumption. He could stay so far back,
could be
not
another
die.
Shackle. No, he won't find it, but Visage, early level 6, doing work. Wow.
Insane. Insane in terms of chain stunning, in terms of damage output, in terms of his range. My God.
Well, that's some fantastic play. And credit Mushi, that was a big-time Shackle shot. He misses that, LGD at least get out and maybe even find a couple more kills. But by hitting that, gives the Visage time for the Shackle to cool down and completely turns the tide to the fight. However, Mushi may be walking into a bit of a pickle here. Misery's got Roar. Won't be his teammates won't be there in time. And now LGD forced into kind of a defensive posture here, where we just saw them pressuring bottom, starting to get their sea legs under them now. Well, they're going to have to play defensively, Lumi.
They're going to try to set up a kill on Mushi on mid, and if they could get this one quick, it's not bad.
Yeah, quick is the key word. And well, he's actually going to back off. Misery still has Roar. He'll drop it now. Follow-up is there. Axes, call down. No Windrun available. He'll get it off, but doesn't matter. Too many nukes. He does die, and thing is, they did blow a lot for Mushi. Do they want to keep on pushing?
Yes, they do, because there's no AoE to actually stop them.
Right.
Mushi is the only person, right? So this is actually a free tier 1 tower. Unless Luna TPs in and starts man fighting. And I hope that LG recognize that there is nothing defending or stopping that push, but they're just too worried. They're backing
Maybe
up.
worried about a buyback from the Windrunner, as well as respecting what Visage can do. Because we saw Extinct 5-0 and 2, 11 minutes in. 7-0 already on the hero, and at this rate may become 8-0 soon, and they're afraid of the hero. We'll see the tower denied mid, Orange in the end backing off, and the big item for me that's coming very soon is KYXY's BKB. Sure, there's Roar, but there's just not too much physical damage right now to actually deal with him when he's in BKB, and it's coming very soon.
Yeah, I guess if you could Roar her as she is eclipsing and run away, that could be a good trade of the ultimate.
And they have Chen creeps to tank the Eclipse as well.
So Eclipse is not exactly going to be the big thing. KYXY farming more of a mid-game kind of a superiority and then going for the big push. And as such, his team, again, winning 4v5.
Two smokes crossing in the night. Mushi's going to get the jump on LGD here. Where's that Shackle? Not going to latch, but the Burrow will. Power shot through. Catches out too. Hand of God. Maybe turns it around. Misery, though. It caught out in the end. And it's just the familiars. It's the Chen creeps are there. It's like nobody cares about them. The familiars, however, everyone cares. Power shot barely short. Just rustles the cloak of the Rubik. But in the end, they still find the kill. And Even better, it goes to KOX by BKB coming soon. These Visage Familiars, you just can't fight against them. They had Hand of God, they had Chen Creeps, they have a good group up 3-man fighting squad, and it just didn't matter.
Yeah, they just layer every single stun onto the Beastmaster. Shackle Shot didn't even hit.
Yeah, it missed.
Yeah, generally in a team fight like that where everybody still on LG had their spell, you lose that kind of team fight when you don't land all your spells. They didn't even need to use those assumptions.
Ohio's teleported in, a rather bold position for him, but Net's there to back him up. Calldown is going to catch out 3, call it 4, Eclipse comes through, but KOXY's BKB isn't here yet. LGD, great little fight for them. They pick off 2. G low, but not dead just yet. From the backside, it's Mushi trying to snipe a few more. Man, no Luna BKB. That was just overextension by Ohio, really. Teleporting into the trees like that. Should have just TP'd farther back and slowly sieged it. Waited for the BKB and then gone, but just got a little greedy. Didn't expect the entire LGD team there. They pay with 2 deaths.
Yeah, Calldown is actually kind of...
like you mentioned in the draft, it's just it's very difficult to push into that.
Yeah, you think Calldown's like, oh, it only clears creep, but for the most part, it's so hard to make a dive against Calldown. If your team is actually caught out by a Calldown, generally a single TP in, or in this case, multiple TPs in, is more than enough to turn things around. Even though LGN before that were down 4 kills.
Are they thinking Roche already? A couple heroes grouped up, or maybe just wanting to farm this Ancient stack. The thing is, if they get a medallion on Visage, they could actually do it pretty quickly, but he's actually going... Well, he won't go for that. He'll go for Mechanism, and now they can do the Ancients. Level 11 on your Luna, you've got the Treants, level 3 for the Prophet, and the Visage Familiars, and this is going to be a lot of gold for Orange. As for LGD.int, working on their own Ancient stacks, and be a lot of gold for Pycat as well. BKB recipe up, doesn't have the Mythor Hammer yet, and this is that window for Orange. They have their BKB, LGD.int don't. You really want to pick a fight in like the next minute or so, but I don't know if they'll be able to find one.
Yeah, both teams basically trading Ancient stack at this point here, although Radiant a little bit slow in terms of finishing that one.
Is this DreamHack?
Well, no smoke gangs to the Ancients just yet. Then we'll call the DreamHack.
I know Bulb is watching, and that was one of the few things in Dota that made him physically ill.
Well, Ohio, by the way, we talked about his slow start. Now he's actually doing quite okay. He's going to Midas his way up to level 8.
I mean, that seems to be it's pretty clear at this point for Orange. They've done this at least 2 or 3 games now. Offlane Prophet for Ohio, and they'll completely sack him, but then they just trust in the rest of their team to benefit from him slowing down the enemy's stacking, jungling, and just carry farm as well. And then they say, get a Midas. You can spend the next 8 to 10 minutes just farming and catching up and getting back into the game. And now we're at a point where, well, he's not fully caught up, but he's pretty close. And overall, seems like the sacrifice was well worth it, because Orange, they lead by 1,500 gold, 2,000 experience, and they're in a pretty comfortable position.
Yeah, this kind of playstyle where you basically sack your off lane and then your Luna as well as your Winra just go for massive farm. It's basically has been extinct and Net winning the entire game for the team so far. They've been so effective as a ganking combo. Sand King, by the way, involved in 8 of their 10 kills. Visage,
8 of 10.
8 of 10.
And Mushi.
Yeah, Mushi normally don't play this team-oriented. Normally he just farms and dominates mid lane, but this game he's been roaming around all over the place. And normally when a strat like this work, you have this kind of everybody gets farmed, your supports is massively over level compared to enemy supports. When it doesn't work though, you get really kind of lopsided game where Net has a boots, 20 minutes in. But
the one thing I do wonder is how much longer do Orange want to wait? They just got their mech on the Visage. They have a 4-staff now on Mushi. I feel like, and the level 11 on Luna with BKB. I feel like it's right now they want to fight. And look at LGD.int. They have the BKB for Pycat, I believe. Oh, it's just short. They're going to take a fight now. They're actually going to lead the way. They get the stun off of KOX, but he hasn't BKB'd yet. 4-staff to safety by Mushi. That might turn this fight around. Shackle comes through. Power shot as well. Misery on the run, but KOXY is so low that he might drop even with the Eclipse coming out. G, maybe not. Soul Assumption here. Visage is there when you need it. The Flying Birdman coming in, but G, under cover of it, Shadowblade will be able to back his way out, and the Eclipse stolen by 1437. Sand King goes down as well.
They gotta kill him.
Oh no, they can't let him have this Eclipse again, although it is level 2. I don't know if he get it off again, but he's going to drop power shot, clips him off. Was that a buyback from the Dragon Knight?
He got sent back by Chen.
Sent home, comes right back, and the fight not over yet. G racing forward. That's his own Sentry Ward. They haven't spotted him yet. Going for the familiars. One splash, doesn't get the second, but this one might be in a bit of trouble when it's all said and done. Well, who comes out on top there, Lumi?
I think that was a pretty decent win for Orange. That 4-staff for Luna really wound up that team fight. If Luna died right there, it was going to be a snowball for LG. It looks like... nope. Yeah, the fact that they killed mostly everybody, did Luna die that fight? No. Luna actually was safely able to TP out after dropping Eclipse, and now on the bot lane.
She was so low. She barely escaped there. I mean, the one thing, Lumi, is that was her 10-second BKB, and she doesn't have Eclipse now, and seeing that, LGD and Smoked Up going to go right for her.
Yeah, if you get the kill right now, that's going to be a pretty big one, although...
Can they do it? That's the question. The BKB, he's got to TP out just
Oh
in the nick of time. That is infuriating if you're Misery.
Yeah, it really is, and he's...
Meanwhile, top lane, G looking for a kill here on Ohio. He'll stun him up. The Chen creeps are there as well, but G may pay with his own life. That Centaur Stomp does clip Mushi, slows him down. G tries to TP out. That was a very bold TP. He won't get away. They'll nuke him down, and on top of it, well, it looks like they all survive in the end. So
they're going to get these Chen creeps as well. And
that's a big loss.
Yeah, I think they should make that chase for it, no? They're going to see this creep wave and take that instead.
Looks like LGD just bit off more than they can chew. They tried to 2-hero gank bottom and 2-hero gank top with Chen creeps, and in the end, they get nothing, and they lose their Dragon Knight.
Yeah,
and they lose a tier 1 top, it looks like, as well.
1437's got to be very careful. I think Prophet was thinking of teleporting in and start setting up a Sprout for the rest of the team to catch up, but nothing just yet.
Haste Rune going to be picked up by 1437. They do get that tier 1 top with ease. Orange, this is where you get that medallion on Visage. I feel you're looking at Roche. You have the plus damage from Luna. You have the Treants as well as the Familiars to tank, to do some damage of their own. Orange wins one big fight here, maybe takes the tier 1, and Roche is going to be next on the list. So LGD, an important window for them. Got to be very careful not to lose a fight.
Yeah, on the same token, there is somewhat of a dangerous thing to actually go into a Roshan pit. There's birds to scout you out from the Beastmaster. It looks like looking for a roar on Mushi. Haste Rune, and there's the Beastmaster roar call down.
He's still got 4 staff. It's such a long way to dive, and, well, it's only a roar. They'll back off.
The roar does have fairly low cooldown. He drew 2 teleports from that one roar. It's okay.
Yeah, for LGD, just very smart play. They force the TPs. They realize they can't kill Mushi, and they just back off. Nothing really lost there. Call down, low cooldown. They'll go back to farming, and they didn't even lose a tower either, so no big deal for them. And, well, we head towards the mid-game. It's a 5K gold lead, a bounce for RNG Sports, looking at a 5K experience lead as well. I'm wondering if it's enough, because LGD has a very good comeback lineup, lots of ancient farming ability between Dragon Knight with his level 2 ultimate, as well as Luna, or rather Gyrocopter with Flat Cannon. So even though LGD are behind, they still have their tier 1 mid, they haven't given up Roche, and I feel like they can absolutely still come back. It almost feels like game 1 to me.
Yeah, well, Orange is working with Luna and Nature's Prophet.
A little bit better late game.
And Windrunner, who's going to get a quick scythe. So it's not that bad. But on the same time here, Gyrocopter, Flat Cannon's going to destroy the birds. Same thing with Dragon Knight. They have so much presence in teamfight as well as range and damage. Let's not forget about Beastmaster and what he does in late game teamfight. You cannot ignore Inner Beast in conjunction with that Frost Dragon. It's a ton of damage output. And look at that. Beastmaster picks up a gem. It's going to be ward controlled. This is 6.78. There's not going to be many wards in the map. And looks like we're going to see G trying to get the gank, but he does have an sentry right there.
That thinks he's safe. He's going to run away. Misery's like, wait for me, guys. Wait for me. But they do miss the boat. And KOXY actually went back for drums after his BKB, going very mid-game centric here. And a little bit interesting to me. I feel like with the start he had, could have gone straight for something like Yasha, even Helm of the Dominator, and worked towards some bigger items. Because, I mean, yeah, they have a lot of utility from Prophet Windrunner, but you're up against Dragon Knight, who's quite tanky, Hand of God, mech, a lot of defensive capabilities, and Gyro, who's got a BKB. You really need physical damage as this goes later to deal with those heroes.
I think that's a concession to how the previous teamfight went. If he didn't get 4 staff out, he just would flat out die and do nothing in a teamfight. So maybe saying, hey, I'm not going to be as strong late game, but I want to make sure that if a fight breaks out now, I could actually contribute. And
he wants to get there.
Right, and now it seems like they're looking to take a fight now with a drums BKB. This is what we expect out of Luna nowadays. And how will OG defend this? They have a ton of AoE.
Oh, the backstab's coming from Ohio. He's under cover of a Shadow Blade there, but actually spotted out because of the gem for Misery. They're going to pick him off the bat. No, he actually got away just barely at that. Now KOXY comes in. That's a huge eclipse, catching out both of the backline heroes. They're all dropping fast. Pyket, though, still alive, healthy at that, but his BKB is going to wear off very soon. If he doesn't get out now, he might end up going down. Shackle catches G at the tower. Triple kill for KYXY. Is he even done yet? It looks like he is. Well, in the end, did that Prophet get out?
No, he died to Chen creeps.
It looked like he escaped because he was still alive when I checked, but looks like, yeah, goes down to Chen creeps in the end.
Yeah, and now Orange is going to win a big team fight. As you expect a Drums BKB Luna to win that team fight. I think Drums had a big part of it, right? They saw people diving and they just Drums and immediately dove as a team. And
that's drums obviously not as good late if you're just trying to farm, but if you use them like that,
right now,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's just one of the best items that you could use right now. Got nerf in the patch. Don't matter. Still get it. Still get it every time you can get it.
It's still +9 stats, and the 5% move speed, attack speed are regardless. It's still a ridiculously good item.
And now, if you look at KYSI, won a team fight, get a couple of tower kills in the mid lane, and now he's sitting at 3k gold. Whatever late game item that he wanted before, now he has it. And now they're gonna go straight into the Roshan. I talked about how LGD could have sort of stopped it, but I'm not too sure right now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what I was saying. If they win a fight, they take the tier 1 mid, and they get the medallion. They go Roche. All 3 conditions being fulfilled, they're gonna go in now.
Yeah, well, and it's hard actually for the Radiant to. Well, I don't think they could come in time to actually take down this
Maybe
Roche.
they can. They have Roar. They've got the gem as well. They held on to that through the last fight. There's BKB called on a Misery, or a Pycat rather.
Oh, too late.
Too late though. Aegis snapped up by KYXY and Orange, confidently throwing out power shots. LGD.int, just too late to the party.
Yeah, and Mushi could play ultra aggressive with multiple 4-staff on the team now, and I think with this Aegis, you just push tier 2 now if that's what you want. The creep waves is fairly push on all sides, so you can't really go back and farm them. So I think that's what Orange is doing.
You know, I'm very worried for LGD.int because I feel like if Net gets his Blink Dagger, which he's close to, only 700 gold away, they have just too much initiation. By that point, Mushi probably has a Sight device. It's going to be too easy for them to find pickoffs against a lot of these heroes. And, well, LGD, this is where they really need to buckle down. They can't afford to die anymore, because if they die, then they start losing tier 2s. They maybe lose all their map control. They've got to defend, play safe, and withstand the oncoming onslaught. If they can do that, they've still got a shot. But this next push is going to be way harder to deal with than the one that we saw around that 15, 16-minute mark.
Yeah, what LGD could hope for right now is for them to focus on a fairly tanky hero like Beastmaster or Dragon Knight, send them back, have a quick TP in, and then you're basically fighting with a ton more HP, a ton more spells, and they're down spells. But I don't think Orange is going to make that mistake. Chen is going to be the big kill.
Well, there's your Blink Dagger, basically. Net 2,000 gold now.
They let him get the last hit, so that was fairly smart on the...
Are they going to wait? Do they need it? They're still grouped up. Looks like they might be thinking about pushing this. No, they'll back off.
Yeah, pushing up a high ground is a different beast because suddenly you're pushing up a choke. It's very easy for supports. They have a lot more room to work with on the Radiant side.
Oh no, they're going to steal the Ancient stack as well. This is so much economic damage. LGD.int even spotted out, but can they actually stop it? Extinct's going to lead the way. He'll find some delicious Chen creeps. That's a really long shackle, but looks like they'll kill off 1, maybe 2. Familiar Stun's being used just for the Chen creeps, and in the end, they're going to take the Ancient stack. They'll get out as well. KYXY, 4.7k. He wants to go Butterfly. He's not far off that. Manta style, fantastic pickup here as well, although there's a lot of AoE, but still just for the move speed, the extra stats would be great. And whatever he wants, he has it soon. You compare that to our Gyrocopter for Pycat, actually keeping the pace all right, going for an MKB, but still feels a little bit squishy and vulnerable. If he gets shackled or sights, he'll just die.
Yeah, for the Luna item, I feel that if you are more in tune about base sieging, I think Manta is simply better because if you break that brace tower, having Manta Illusion and Glaives, those multiple glaive bounces from illusions is going to take down the Raxus very quickly.
If he wants a Manta style, I think he's like 300 gold away right now.
If he wants to go for later game, then Butterfly is obviously a choice. So it doesn't matter though. I feel like any item he picks up is going to be more than what LG can handle, to be honest.
Well, Orange, they're ahead. This reminds me a lot of Game 1. Oh, farther ahead than they were in Game 1, to be sure. A 10k gold lead now, and 12k experience lead top lane. Oh, I was just going to Shadow Blade away. Once again, oh, it's actually 1437. They didn't even have the gem there, so no way they're going to kill him off unless they chain stun him. But it does still feel like it could turn out like Game 1 if LGD can just hang on. But it's going to be harder to hang on now because they're farther behind, and Orange have a better late game lineup.
Yeah, and yeah.
Oh no, Brax is in trouble. Epicenter being channeled by Net. Now burrows in. Mech is there. Hand of God available. Net thought he could get a solo kill. Wanted to make a play. Brax not even breaking a sweat there, just strutting away.
Well, I mean, they did use a mech, which does have a fairly low cooldown. I was like, what are you looking at?
That was an Epicenter.
That was some random jungle play. I was like, oh, okay.
But the more important thing, they get the tier 2 bottom.
Yeah, that's a big thing here. And LG is actually ready to concede every single outer tower. And Orange actually took a lot more time taking these towers than I imagined. Looks like Luna just robbed a Ring of Basilius for
5.4k. What is it going to be, KYXY?
Manta?
Still not spending his gold yet. He'll teleport top lane. He's got the money for the Manta right now if he wants it.
So I assume it's Butterfly, a full one.
Oh no, he's been playing too much with Mushi. This is Mushi's classic problem, where he has 6k gold and just doesn't spend it. KYXY definitely should be spending his gold now, but we'll see what he goes for.
I don't think he's going to go like Big Divine and push with Aegis, right?
Well, if he sees this, it'd be really unfortunate if he bought an Eagle Horn right now. The MKB just picked up by Gyro, but we'll see if KYXY spots it out.
Nothing just yet. Prophet's gonna TP up top and farming. It's like you said, LG doesn't have as good of a late game as game number 1, where they had Gyrocopter, Prophet, and what was their last core? I forgot. It was another hero that could farm very well. Alchemist. This game, I mean, Beastmaster, Dragon Knight, they're not exactly on the same level as a Prophet. And it looks like they're going to set yet another gank up top.
This time they're coming prepared. It looks like the stun is there. Do they have dust? They do, but Ohio's already on the run. They can't get the lift off. Just once again, a little bit slow. They're really trying to force the ganks. The Shadow Blade paying so many dividends. That's 2 failed ganks at least that I've caught. KYXY, now get a siege mid lane. 6k gold. Spend your gold, man. You've got the Aegis. You have BKB. I really question this. Well, if they lose this next fight because of that, you can really point the finger at KYXY. But we'll see if they do. They still do have Aegis. They're pushing in the middle lane. Overall, the item pickups are huge. Mushi has a Scythe device. KYXY just gonna wait this one out for the time being in the front lines. Throws out a Lucent Beam, eats a Fire Breath. Might be dropping soon. Blink in, Epicenter, catches up Pycat, brings him to half HP. Mech, Hand of God, turn it around. Now the Eclipse comes through doing good damage, only hitting heroes. 1 hero Shackle Shot actually bore to Pycat, sent back to base as the killing blow comes in. Now the Aegis pop, the Eclipse expire, G's gonna drop. Will they buy back to fight this one out? It's hard to say. KYXY now up to 6.4k gold. Now we gotta expect they'll spend it. They get the tower in the end. Dragon Knight buys back to no avail. Well, LGD, another team fight loss for them.
Well, you can't say nothing to KYXY. Didn't even need that item. 6-0-4.
And now he goes Reaper.
Heart, or no, Satanic, I believe, as the parts are flying out. It is going to be Satanic. So Butterfly, not exactly the best late game item because MKB.
Well, there's already an MKB, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the other one, which is not that bad. It's now basically impossible to kill in these team fights.
It was really this with the Manto once you saw the MKB. And Satanic, definitely a great choice. I'm just glad for him he got it off because I was having flashbacks to some of those games where Mushi was playing. I think it was against IG in the G1 League Season 4 playoffs where he'd sit around on 5-6k gold, he'd die, he'd buy back, and they had like a snowball going and the game just kind of fell apart. But Orange, not falling victim to that. They now lead by 16k gold, 15k experience, and remember they are 4-2, or actually 5-2 in their overall record against LGD. And I don't think they've ever lost a series to them before. They generally know how to deal with this team, and right now, looking like they may have the answers here in game number 3.
Yeah, it's just too much farm. The supports play so well. They're basically giving the entire map of free farm to the rest of Mushi.
And they're farming. I mean, look at their items.
They're farming through kills, right? Because Sand King has Blink Dagger, and the other side, you have 1437 having treads. That's a big disparity in terms of level and farm.
2-4-10 on net, 0-5-4 on 1437, 7-0 and 7 on Extinct, 2-1 and 2 on Brax. You're absolutely right. It's just much higher impact supports this game.
Yeah, and it's much more well-placed support. They've been roaming a lot better. They've been finding a ton of kills. And in fact, it's going to be Ohio now involved in this roam. Unfortunately, they're not going to find anybody. Midas killing a Centaur creep or Chen creep.
This is also that point in the game where Chen really starts to fall off. Chen creep's just not going to do much against Luna Glaives bouncing through, even just the Prophet ultimate, the Windrunner power shot spam. Chen is basically there for the send back, which was fantastic by Brax, barely saving his Gyrocopter's life in that fight. But
he's okay at blocking a couple of Eclipse beams with his creep, but
yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah.
He's not going to bring as much to the fight as Visage with multiple soul assumptions, spamming Medallion, having a mech of his own, and I mean, just the familiars as well. Sure, they may die to Flat Cannon, but if they get even one stun off, that's way more than what a Chen's going to do.
I don't think LG is particularly dead in this game. The chances of winning the game is fairly low, but
they're bleeding out slowly in the water, but they're not dead yet.
Right, but you could just, for example, Pycat, if he stalls for like 10 more minutes and farm himself a Divine, like, you know, there goes those Divine Gyrocopter games. I don't think it's out yet. I mean, it's going to be harder for him to farm him because Flat Cannon now working with the 30-second cooldown instead of 20-second one. That's the big thing here. Your farm rate is slowed down drastically. So
it's not just that, it's also you get a Divine, but a lot of the power of Divine comes from getting off 2 Flat Cannons worth of that Divine. I mean,
well, do you need 2 Flak if you have a Divine?
Luna with a Satanic and a BKB, maybe you do, Lumi. She can lifesteal back a lot of that.
Sure, that's true. The power for me, the Divine.
The other heroes maybe not.
Like, yeah, if everybody else dies, Luna by herself, sure with Satanic, I'm not sure whether she could outman fight the entire team. Although with Glaives, maybe you can.
Yeah, not yet. She'll need the Butterfly. Well, maybe not Butterfly. Manta. Maybe that next item, something like an MKB of her own, a Daedalus. She's not there yet, but if she gets a couple more items, she could take it late.
Right, so at this point in the game, I don't think this is where you say tap out LGD. I think LGD is still on a...
What is Net doing? Oh, he was trapped in. He blinks and burrow strikes in and traps himself next to the cliff with the boar, so he can't take the haste rune. Had to auto tag and he gets denied.
That's the most next level body block I've ever seen. A 1 unit body block with a board.
Look at that misery micro. Even on Beastmaster, he finds a way to deliver.
Well, Pycat's definitely finding a way to, with all these creeps. You see a big patch up top. They're just giving everything to Pycat right now, saying, hey.
Yeah, it feels like a rapier game, Lumi.
It definitely is what they're going for. So I'm pretty sure that Orange will smart up to that very soon. I think they're waiting for the Roshan and then just say, hey, we're coming right at you. No rapier for you. No time for you to get that rapier.
Let's see. I'm also interested to see if the flat cannon changes do make the difference. It does feel like Pycat's farming slower than what gyros normally do, but a lot of that is LGD.int kind of trapped in their base here. So I still feel like it hasn't affected gyro as much as I thought it would, simply because you do have to spend time running from camp to camp, and things like Rocket Barrage Call Down do help you, but they're going to Roche now. 1,600 gold up on KYXY. He'll work towards his next item pretty soon, and we'll see what it's going to be, but end of the day, they do have soon a double sight device if they don't already have it. Profit up to 3,800 gold has his now. Sure, you can have a gyro with a rapier, but between Burrow Strike, Shackle Shot, double scythe, and the familiar stuns, if he doesn't get off his BKB at the perfect moment, they'll just lose anyway.
Yeah, that just depends on the BKB, right? But
yeah.
You're such...
Too early, they'll just run away and then you lose. Too late, they'll just kill you.
Right, but LGD's in a position where they have effectively, quote-unquote, lost the game, right? They just have to do that Hail Mary play, so...
Oh, it's completely the right play.
Yeah. Uh-oh, they're going to make that gank. TP coming up top here.
Oh, no. Pycat, this could be bad.
If he, like, dies once, I think... Well, he TP's out, so no harm, no foul. And I don't say he died one and the game is lost, because, you know...
It just delays his rapier to the point where KYXY gets so farmed it may not matter. He'll actually go Hyperstone. He's going to go for Assault Cuirass. I kind of like this as well because you can't really go Butterfly. You're up against an MKB Gyro. Manta, how much does it do for you? The illusions are just going to die anyway. Items like Daedalus aren't really that great on Luna because you can't crit on the glaive bounces. MKB, it's okay, but there's no evasion. I actually think AC might be the best choice for him.
Yeah, it's actually quite smart. It helps your siege towers. Having more attack speed, like you said, works quite well with Satanic. Having a minus armor works well with Satanic as well. So the siege should be coming a lot sooner though, because right now Pycat saying thanks for the pre-profit goal, farming treants all day. Like he could do this. He's up to that Sacred Relic territory now.
Thing is, he's got to have the full rapier. You buy the relic now, and then the jig is up. Orange are probably expecting the rapier anyway, but you buy the relic, you don't have buyback, you die, you're gonna lose the game, and relic by itself doesn't do much for you. So he's getting closer, he's inching towards it. The other thing I like about the AC pickup for Luna, just because I want to go back to that for a second, Lumi, is if they live, this is where the flat cannon nerf comes into play. If you live through the first barrage of flat cannon and then it just turns into a 1v1 battle between you and the gyro and your team is able to live, which sure, they're not the tankiest, but they have Force Staff, Shadow Blade, Double Scythe. You've got Visage, who's pretty mobile with Grave Chill's move speed, and the mech on him, Sand King, obviously mobile. I feel like they may be able to run away, and then that's where Luna having all this extra armor, extra Satanic, even if she gets an extra lifesteal, she can tank through that initial flat cannon and then just go win the fight, win the game.
Yeah, also because Gyrocopter is working with the 30-second cooldown on the flat cannon, he's got to be very careful when he uses it. For example, right now, you see that he's flacking down the entire creep wave. If Orange wants to push, they have about 20 seconds to do so. It's actually a big window for teams to push.
And they could just go hit the racks a few times, back off.
Back off. And it, like Pycat, at a certain point in this game, have to be very careful. In fact, he should already be very careful when he uses flat, because the cooldown is already long enough. Like right now, we're still talking about it. The flat cannon just came off cooldown. Like there's a ton of time for Orange if they want to force anything. They're not forcing anything just yet. They're still saying we have our lead. Divine's not up just yet, but it's coming soon.
Speaking of Mushi and his tendency to stockpile gold, 5.4k up on Mushi, and this is where maybe you kill Luna, but then there's Mushi on the back lines who's going to start hitting very hard in his own
if
right.
he spends gold on it.
Yeah. That's always the question with Mushi. God, I love him, but sometimes he drives you insane.
What do you go here? Do you go for something like Daedalus? Or
I think you go for damage. BKB is not going to help you because they're still roar. You don't really need the magic community anyway, and I mean, maybe you could go something like Maelstrom Mjolnir just to split push a bit faster, but I really feel like you just want that single target damage and focus the gyro down.
I personally like Desolator here quite a bit. It helps you push in conjunction with the AC and focus fire. Well, not the spell, but they help you focus on gyro.
Through a certain point in the game, Desolator is just the most cost-effective damage item on Windrunner because she has focus fire, but we'll see if he goes for that. And later on, it's not going to be the best single target.
It's going to be MKB.
DPS, but it really helps his team. And well, if there was any thought of going for a butterfly, that's out the window now. Pycat will definitely be going Rapier after he sees this.
Yep, so, well, Pycat go check, 4.7. We're almost there.
Mushi MKB on the way as well, and like you said, and we're getting close to an Assault Caress for KYXY. Orange, they may just wait for the next Roche at this rate. There's, you got a Rapier on Pycat? Fine. Orange is just saying, we'll farm all our heroes to the point where he can't kill more than 1 or 2 during that initial flak, and then we win the next fight with Aegis, with Cheese, and game's over. So it's one of those games where Pycat can get a Rapier, and I feel like it just may not even matter, unless Orange starts getting picked off for losing fights.
I mean, Orange they were such in a unlosable spot before. Now with the Rapier, sure, you're still up by a ton of gold, and it might not matter, like you said at the end. But do you want to go and then
no, they just continue to farm. Just starve LGD.int, get 4, 5, 6 slotted on all 3 of your core heroes, and then what's the gyro with a BKB, an MKB, and a Rapier gonna do? I think that might be the game plan here for Orange. But we'll see. They do have the Aegis up now, Lumi, and they are going to push the bottom lane. They've got about a minute. They've timed this pretty wisely if they do want to siege. Rapier not there yet for Pycat. Doesn't have the gold for it. This is just the perfect window to go. No Rapier. If he dies here, he'll have to buy back. KYXY is going to leave the way. They do kill off the creep wave, but Mushi from the low ground just going to start sieging with the MKB. That's the power of that item.
No flak for 20 seconds. If they recognize this, it's time to go.
Well, he's still got... Oh, he's actually going to remove his Focus Fire. Hits a creep there, so won't have Focus Fire for the tower anymore, but still, AC online. Mushi will plink away. KYXY will just chill on the high ground. There's not a whole lot of time left on this Aegis of the Immortal. We'll see a Lucid Beam stolen by 1437. Calldown gets deployed as well. Not doing a whole lot. There's your stun on KYXY. He tanks it to the face. He wants to die now. They're not focusing him yet. Roar on the Nat, who jumped in first. Pycat's got the BKB, goes to work, finds the first pick. The flat cannon brings Mushi low, brings KYXY low as well, and they are driven back. They lose the Aegis. Luna comes back now, but has BKB, has Satanic. There's your Eclipse. 1437 tries to steal it, immediately gets blown up. Glaive splashing through. That next flak could make the difference. He's got 6.4k gold. Problem is, doesn't have a BKB. Orange just slowly but calmly and surely rolling their way towards their first lane of Rex. Now they'll back off. They'll go for the next Roche and then look to end the game.
I think that was okay for LGD.
They have the Rapier now.
They do. And the big thing for me is that Pycat didn't die there, and all they've lost is 1 Rax. He didn't die. He wasn't forced to buy back. Where's the Courier? It's going there double time. If anything.
Gank the secret shop. This is where you park a hero at the secret shop.
Park a hero on 3 wards there.
It's like when you're ahead in StarCraft 2 and you just start burrowing. If you're Zerg, you just start burrowing Zerglings all over at every random expansion. So if your opponent tries to sneak a secret expansion or try to play on when he's from a position of disadvantage, you just spot it out, you prevent him from doing it. And that Courier might have a hard time getting to the secret shop.
I think Pycat might have to actually walk there by himself.
Yeah, 7k gold. I'm excited to see this next Rapier. It felt like he was doing enough in that fight. He almost killed everyone off. But the one thing is there is Aegis and Cheese Satanic on the Luna as well. So they have 2, maybe 3 extra lives in the next fight collectively.
Well, here's the thing. How much, let me first ask you, how much does that bot Rax matter in this
It's
engagement?
not enough. I definitely agree with you there. The bot Rax isn't enough. If they lose 2 lanes of Rax and don't get a good trade, that's where this game kind of falls out of reach.
Okay, here's my next question for you. Let's say we're going to see Pycat probably pick up Divine in the next minute or so. If you're LGD, do you challenge a Roshan, or do you concede and say, we'll take you with your 7 life next fight, we have Divine, or do you say...
I don't think they can... They're just not that great of a lineup, I feel, for taking that fight in the Roche pit, because Orange have so much map control, the lanes will be pushed in, it'll be obvious they're going there, and there's a Shadow Blade...
Oh my god, he bought an Eagle Song.
No way. He's already up against an MKB... Is it gonna... It can't be an Ethereal Blade. It's got to be a Butterfly. Up against an MKB Windrunner... I don't like this choice.
I think sometimes you just say, we man up.
Yeah, you just got to go for it, but he'll go Butterfly. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough, Lumi.
I'm flabbergasted.
It's 42 minutes in. There's a Tri-Core on Orange. It's not a bad item by any means. The thing is, Ohio's going MKB as well. They have double MKB on their cores, and even if KYXY wants one, he's not far off. As soon as they see this Butterfly, that's going to be cue for them to get triple MKB, and unless Pycat kills them in 1 big flak, he dies. Absolutely no way he lives through the response of these triple ranged heroes. 2 of them 600 range, just plinking away at him. Sometimes you just have to take the risk.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think Pycat just playing a little bit too scared here.
You were saying that you know the MKB is going to be a great counter through the evasion part. The Butterfly just doesn't add enough damage to Gyrocopter as a 1-row carrier. Sure, you have Flat Cannon, that's going to multiply by however many targets he's hitting, but you're just doing, what, 60 damage extra for a 6k gil item?
And the attack speed doesn't really help you because you only get a certain
You're
number
limited
of
by
flag
flag.
habits.
You're limited by flag. That's going to be your big burst of damage output. I just don't know. What about, I guess...
And there's MKB number 2. Prophet picks his up now. Thing is, he's already gone for the butterfly, so he's committed at this point, and I suppose Pycat does get Satanic. He gets the next damage item, whatever that might be. Maybe they still have a shot. LGD, I wouldn't even count them out now if it goes for another 20, 30 minutes, but that also banks a lot on Orange just not playing correctly this game.
Yeah, I wonder what
Because if Orange just slow siege with double MKB from 600 range heroes on the low ground, and Luna can sit in the front lines and be almost impossible to kill with the next Aegis and Cheese, who do you go on? How do you kill everyone? LGDN, they know now with the butterfly pickup on Pycat, they can't give away the next Roche. They have to win this fight. They have to find some pickoffs and sneak the Aegis. Can they do it? We'll find out now.
I mean, tell me what's the difference between taking this fight with Divine or Butterfly? If you lose this fight, you lose the game anyways, right?
Yeah.
So don't you just have better chance of winning the fight if you have Divine instead of Butterfly? Because the evasion part is not doing a single thing.
I can't really argue with you there, but Mushi will get called out, but he 4-steps away the great smoke gambit. Narrowly gonna fail. There's also, oh, by the way, triple familiars on the field. Not sure how much those will do against the gyro, but it's pretty cute for Extinct.
They'll give him more gold. That's what they'll do.
It looks like they might still try to contest Roche. Again, they can't give up this Roche. Not when he's gone Butterfly. He won't be able to deal with the oncoming siege. But they're going to catch out a fleeing 1437. Teleported in the middle of the river. The Blink Bro was there. Power shot as well. Not quite enough. They didn't actually get the kill, but the familiars come in from the sidelines. Scythe on G. Can they blow him up in time? He's got a BKB. He'll pop it now. Now pops his Frost Dragon. KYXY, not the hero you want to be focusing. He's very tanky. Epicenter comes through. Pycat in a world of trouble, and the invasion doing absolutely nothing for him. A disaster of a fight. This could be the end. The gem hits the ground. Buyback for Misery, but what can he really do? He already roared. Shadow Blade out from the fountain for G. LGDN almost certainly just lost the game there.
Well, Roshan's not happening just yet. No,
Good news is
now.
he didn't lose a rapier. That's the one.
Well, he doesn't have a rapier. That's the other.
Bad news is he doesn't have a rapier.
Yeah, he doesn't have a rapier. I'm not sure how much it mattered. Also, I'm not sure if you caught that in the corner of your team fight screen. It was that there's 3 birds chasing 1437 in that fight, and that forced Gyrocopter to pop its flag to rescue your 1437 support, which I'm not sure was whether the correct thing to do, but that's what happened. He fought most of that team fight with like 2-3 flags left. The damage output was simply not enough.
Yeah, the familiars are very dangerous. Now Ohio Shadow Bladian, it's the long road to victory for him, and they'll pick off 1437 under the shadow of his tier 4. And, well, no Rubik. There's not going to be any big Eclipse steals for this fight, unless he's got buyback. Does he? No. That could cost them any chance of a comeback. They'll now work their way towards mid. Aegis up on Ohio, Cheese up on KYXY. Now Butterfly complete. Sure, there's a gyro with MKB, but he's still going to be very invulnerable to anybody else attacking him. And Extinct applying some pressure to the bottom lane. They're working on their second lane of racks. RNG Sports pretty much have never lost the series to LGD, and I'm pretty sure 5-2 versus them, but I think it's just been one game in best of 3s they've dropped, and it looks like they may take yet another series off of the North American European mix. They're going on to Misery. He's dropping fast. A blink, a burrow through. Brax is in a lot of trouble. The Glaives bouncing through. Pycat on the run, even with the Butterfly, the BKB, and now they're down. The power shot from long range. He'll barely live. Driven back to the fountain, herded like cattle, and now penned into that fountain. Orange gonna take game 3, and with that, the series.
Yep. I mean, I think a lot of people will be discussing the item choice here. I wonder if what they did was envisioning themselves to hold for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's why if they
and then you go Butterfly and then Rapier?
If it's 20, 30 minutes longer, then maybe the item choice works out. But thing is, Orange, I don't think they were ever going to let it go that long. They'll dive on Pycat. They'll pick him off at the fountain. They want G as well. The GGs do come out, and Orange notch yet another victory against LGDN. They really seem to have this team's number. LGDN, a great performance in Game 1. Bent, but didn't break. But Game 2, Game 3, all Orange all the way.
Yeah, it was just really good performance, especially on their Game 2. Kind of just really good. It's actually very impressive, Dota. Again, I have to stress it's just Net and Extinct just carrying their team, like early on. It doesn't seem like it because they're like, oh, 0-4, 0-3, or whatever.
And shout out to George, who's doing the stats and the pop-ups for this game. Extinct now 8-0 on Visage, and maybe it's worth a ban, Lumi. As much as we harped on the item selections of Pycat this game, end of the day, this team was already down a lot for most of the game. I think you can mostly chalk up the way this game turned out not to any of Pycat's item selections. I would say like 90-95% of it did come down to losing the laning stage as hard as they did, just not really connecting on those early ganks, and Orange just outplaying them with the early rotations. They had 3 kills before like the 4-minute mark, and you even go back to that first blood they got. That was a really impressive and good predictive gank from them.
Yeah, we were talking about Sanking and Visage being involved 8 out of 10 kills. When your support are that active all over the map, you just simply have that big, ginormous lead. And we talked about the Rapier at the end. We weren't even sure whether they could win the game with the Rapier. We just think that it will improve their chance of winning from 5% to like 10.
Yeah, maybe it helps a bit, but end of the day, credit where credit is due. Orange played really well in this game 3. All the right moves from them, didn't overextend, just chipped away at LGD slowly but surely. They take game 3. They take the series. They'll be 1-0 now in Group B. And after seeing Orange play and DK play, Rattlesnake, Rising Stars, we've seen every team play one game. We'll see the standings now up for you guys. Thank you, Kawa. And I would say I think Orange, DK look by far to be the 2 strongest teams in this group. I feel Rising Stars, they look pretty questionable against DK. Rattlesnake really struggling 0-2, and LGD.int just can't seem to find their footing, and they still have to play DK.
Yeah, I mean, tonight's matchup, I believe, is Orange versus Rattlesnake. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll show the schedule in a second here, but we do have, well, we say tonight's matchup because it's tonight for us, but it's tomorrow for most of you guys in Europe as well as Southeast Asia. It'll be at 11 p.m. Our time. So it'll be, actually I can double check on my screen now, in about 14 hours, or 15 hours rather.
Yeah,
15 hours will come back?
That's 11 for us. Yeah, and I think Rattlesnake is actually well equipped to take down Orange. They could do it.
Not the way they're playing now, though.
Okay.
The way they were playing a few weeks ago, I would agree, but they've really struggled as of late. Actually, Rattlesnake...
Hey, man, they picked Kunkka and Doom, and Kunkka and Doom got buffed, so that's all I'm saying.
Word on the street is they may have wanted to make a roster change after the qualifier. So apparently there may be some inner turmoil with this team, but...
Well, they can't do that.
Obviously, they can't do that. They'll have to soldier on, but... It does look like a team that's having some internal issues.
Well, DD says if you make that roster issue, yeah, go ahead.
There's no qualifier to be invited to now, though.
Go.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So end of the day, guys, it's going to be RNG Sports. They take their first best of 3, 2-1 over LGD.int. They'll be 1-0 in the group. LGD.int now drop to 1-2. Not out of it yet, but they've got to find at least one more win to have a decent shot of advancing. I'm LD. He's Luminous. And for now, we're signing off. We'll see you in 15 hours when the Dota 2 Super League continues.